the face of impending planetary disaster, war across Earth, and even in the face of applying to college, getting a job, having a life, how we act toward other human beings on a day-to-day basis can feel small. Being mean to Jane in English, calling Lauren a hoe and Tim a fag. I see these interactions all the time, and occasionally I say something I don't feel good about saying either. When we had to take the high school climate survey last month, I remember looking over a question about how often I had witnessed bullying in the past year. 1 time? Never? 3 or more times? What about 3 times every passing hour? Every day, I see people dole out offhand comments meant to make other people feel small. Comments that create an environment that is negative, mean, and makes many people feel insecure. Is this a small matter? I think it's as big as any volcano, and as someone with pretty severe anxiety, I worry about the Earth's soundness a lot. I wonder, what can we do? When I see someone being called big-bellied boy in the hallway, I know what I can do. I can tell people to cut it out. Sometimes just offer my presence in a way that makes it clear I don't think being nasty is funny. These things can make someone feel better, and that is also a big thing. In my math class, people make fun of a girl, let's call her Allie, because of her low grades and wrong answers on tests. They laugh and say she should be in a different class. She sits trapped in her chair, head on the table while her paper is passed up and down the aisle. Sometimes she pretends to laugh too, but no one wants to, or should be, on the receiving end of cruel comments. No one asks to be bullied based on their hair, clothes, or social behavior. It makes me frustrated when people say they expect teens to be hurtful and mean. Sure, I'm insecure. Who isn't? Sure, we all say things sometimes that feel slimy even before they come out of our mouth, or pick fights to feel powerful. But why is this behavior the expectation? Even when we're older, some people, like our president, will behave ignorantly because they have never been taught to examine their actions, to have compassion for others. In the hallway, most of the time people walk by without noticing or taking the time to care about the harmful bullying that festers so close. I think, instead, we should care about these small comments, these big factors in one person's life, in many people's lives, that make up the world as much as any geographic feature. After all, when have any of us ever grown by making someone else feel small? On the Yellowstone supervolcano, and maybe we have bigger things to worry about. 5th hour science and the cover of National Geographic shouts, "The Earth is in danger." After the bell rings, I will shrink through the hallways, say hi to a boy named Mark who is always surrounded by a cult of sneering girls who poke and touch and hold their noses like he's a contaminated Barbie doll. Most days, I will regret not saying more, or punching them in the face. My body will flow full of wet tar till my back is too heavy to sit straight. Other boys call each other words that spew burning and ugly from places that are too dark or too red-stained, and I don't know if I should say anything. National Geographic says the surface of the Earth will be devoured and collapse onto itself. Samantha tells me her school had a small fire, and she stayed in school without knowing. That seems scary. It seems scary that Mark is getting laughed at right in front of the teacher, how normal wet eyes and bitten lips look after 5 months. If the magma rises quickly, the gases can't escape fast enough. Nat Geo says it would be like opening a giant Coke bottle after you've shaken it. Most days, I feel ready to erupt. Every class, there are people who are not there, but not sick, people who are sick and can't escape smirks and blank looks, the fire that flows from people's mouths. There is lava melting the surface of Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming. Blood is building to boil and the earth is unstoppable. I am scared of all things unstoppable. If the volcano erupts, we will die. Or our earth will die, or our plants will die, or the sky will, and we will fall with it. We should try to stop killing each other prematurely. There is a difference between fear and guilt. Guilt is when you are afraid of yourself. These hallways are too cold for fear. The last 3 times this pit erupted, Michigan was not covered in lead. In ash. Michigan is covered in lead. We should try to stop killing each other prematurely. If the volcano erupts and we are still alive, there will be acid tears dropping onto the sidewalk outside my brother's elementary school. We are used to hearing, watch your language instead of watch your prejudice. It's hard to watch Mark crumble every day. Supervolcanoes are fear. Invisible, overflowing, uncontrollable, they call the holes unmountains. Places where the earth swallowed itself. Some days, it is easier to blame the earth, or blame Mark for what we call him. It is easy to blame the hallway or the volcano. The government says the current volcano alert level is normal. It does not say 0 or little or none. I wonder if Mark thinks how we treat him is normal. Guilt is cold and heavy and wet, scraping in my throat like black rocks. Guilt is not the earth. It is not fear. If we shake it, it won't explode. It is not uncontrollable. If the volcano erupts, if I erupt, if Mark erupts, the question will always have been, what is wrong with our core?